Kasani has made over $6,800 since becoming a funded trader here at Funded Trading Plus. Kasani has over 10 years of trading experience, and in this interview, he goes over those 10 years, sharing us with the ups, the downs, the obstacles he's had to overcome, and where he sees himself in the future. We hope you enjoy this interview, but most importantly, we hope that you take value from it. So for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy this Funded Trading Plus interview. So, Kasani, thank you for joining us here today. I'd like to start off by getting to know you more as a trader before Funded Trading Plus. Could you tell me more about yourself and how you got into trading?
Yeah, man. I've been dibbling, dabbling for trading for over 10 years now. I got
Nice.
started super early out of college. I think I got introduced to it like how most people do, which is IML, that M to that marketing
Yeah.
scheme. So, I got introduced to it through a friend of mine who's a DJ, and they had a little bit of success, so I tried it out. But then I learned the real way you make money is just getting people under you.
Yeah.
So I kind of stopped that, but I was always intrigued by the trading. Kind of hooked me, and I jumped from strategy to strategy, learning from different people over the course of the years. And you know how they say 99% of traders fail. I was definitely in that 99% for a good part of that decade. Um, but I would say things started to turn around once the pandemic hit. I had a lot more time to dig deep and really learn some things. I was able to find ICT and and then things kind of went up from there.
Awesome. That's an interesting story. Some of the traders that I've spoken to recently have all been trading for around started trading just for COVID, but you obviously got like 10 years experience with you. That must have been what was the difference in learning 10 years ago to now in terms of like resources on YouTube or online? Is there can you notice a difference in the online resource?
Yeah, definitely. I would say 10 years ago there wasn't that many videos on YouTube, especially the influencer kind of videos you see now with guys hopping out of Maseratis, Lambos and stuff. It wasn't a lot of that back then. Um, but I would say it was harder to find people that had consistent strategies. Um, and harder to find people that really told you the truth about what it takes to succeed in this industry. You know, it's not necessarily all about your strategy, it's about the risk management. And once I figured that out, things really turned around for me.
That's awesome. So you said that you come across ICT in around 2019, 2020 when the pandemic hit. Before ICT, what sort of strategies were you hopping around on? What sort of entries and strategies and risk? What talk to me about the before ICT if you could.
Right. So I would say I was kind of break even back then. I wasn't using prop firms. Um, I was aware of FTMO. But the strategy I was using was more supply and demand. It was kind of derivative of ICT before I even knew who he was, but it was kind of like a simplified, dumbed down version of what he was teaching. Um,
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. So that's good little backstory then. So we've got 10 years of trading experience. You come across ICT in the 2019, 2020. When did your first contact with prop firms come along? When did funded trading shout out at you and you looked at it and thought, you know what, I can take on these challenges. I want to get more capital, access to larger capital. When did the funded trading scene come on for you?
so you, it's funny because, like I said, I've been trading for a while. So when I saw the prop firms kind of pop up, immediately, you think it's a scam. And then I heard about funding talent and stuff like that. So I was very apprehensive at first. But my first challenge was with FTMO, and I did pretty good actually. But I ended up getting stopped out, failing the challenge due to a broker outage. It was really my fault because at the time I still wasn't practicing good risk management, so I didn't have my stop loss set properly. And so the broker went out, and then trade went against me, and there was a lot of back and forth with them, and it kind of discouraged me for a minute. And then I found another prop firm and you guys prop firm, and I jumped back in.
Yeah, awesome. That's a pretty good story. I mean, you've seen you probably were there when the start of the prop firms come around, and as you said, you're a little bit hesitant at first with a couple of the other prop firms who have come and gone in that short space of time. But you've also seen the new side of prop firms now, where no time limits have been introduced. That must have been a game changer for you to have having done challenges prior, where you've had time restrictions, to then have a challenge come around where you're like, wow, I don't. What, no time limits? I can take my time with this.
Hmm.
What was it like experiencing a no time limit challenge for the first time?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Like I said, I found you guys kind of early. I don't know how long your company's been around, but I found you guys pretty early, and I honestly I thought it was too good to be true when I first saw the rules. Um, but at first, like again, learning better risk management, it's taking some time for me to get to the point where I was at now, because people hear no time limit and be like, oh man, that's excellent. And nine times out of ten, they're done in about a week or 2 weeks. And they don't really take advantage of it. And
Yeah,
that's something I'm learning now.
no, definitely. Well, you've been quite successful with us here at Fund the Trading Plus. You've had multiple withdrawals. I think your last withdrawal before profit split was in the 6 grand, $6,000 on a $100,000 account. So that's pretty good going. We had a little speak before the interview started, and you were just talking me through how your current account is going. Would you mind just talking the audience through your experiences on your withdrawals and how your trading is going right now, this moment?
Yeah, so like I was saying, man, I've been dibbling dabbling for a while, but taking it more seriously this last couple years. And I'm profitable, but I'm still trying to master the psychology part of it and um, using better risk management. So currently my account is in drawdown, but this is the first time I'm using uh, this style of risk management plan, which is changing my leverage according to the equity in my account. And so my goal is, you know, even if I lose, even if my win rate is 30%, to still be profitable.
That's awesome. And that's such a hard barrier to break mentally, isn't it? A lot of traders want that 80% win rate, and
Hmm.
it's just not achievable on on the long run, you know. So that's a really good barrier to have broken. And just touching upon funded trading again. Well, how would you say funded trading's actually changed your life? Because I'm sure before you were trading prop firms, um, trading small amount of capital must have been a bit difficult of rate of return. So how's funded trading changed your aspect on yeah, and trade in general?
It's helped immensely, man. Just not just my trading, I would say with my life. Learning to be more disciplined. Uh, at first the rules seem, kind of strict and difficult, especially for new traders. But once you get accustomed to it and understand the risk parameters, it can help you immensely, even on your personal accounts. Uh, so I'm not trading my personal right now, but eventually my goal is by the end of the year to be trading my personal along with my funding and using the same risk management that I do for my funded trading account.
Yeah, that's pretty big. That is pretty big. So would you say risk management is like one of the biggest lessons that you've had in your 10 years of trade experience, or are there any other lessons that stand out for you?
Yeah, yeah, honestly, yes. And I'm a firm believer that you can use any strategy, even though I'm using ICT techniques. I honestly believe you can use just about any strategy if you focus on the risk management. You could flip a coin if you wanted to before you would take trades. But if your risk management is solid, you could at least be profitable. I think people get caught up in I need the 8 to 1 and all this crazy stuff and trying to get $40,000 a trade um when it's about just building up slowly.
Yeah, definitely. No, really good answer there, Kasani. One of the questions that I'm actually really excited to ask you is how have you balanced trading life and work life, personal life? How have you developed that sort of skill? Because I talked to a lot of traders recently who haven't been in the game for that long, who still tell me they
Hmm.
struggle to balance trading life and work life, for example. They come into trading to want to like for that freedom, but end up
Hmm.
spending 10 hours a day on the chart, for example, and you end up having less time than you did before you started trading. So is there any techniques or rules you have in place to balance your life?
Yeah, definitely. I would for those people, I've been there before. Before I started this job, I lost my job after COVID. I was general manager at a lounge slash restaurant, and we ended up shutting down. And I had money saved up, and I was down for a year, and I tried to just do the trading full time thing, and it didn't work. Um, so I had to get a job. And one thing I'm learning from having a job in trading is you just need to take your time. And then it goes back to the risk management. My risk management wasn't solid at the time, and me having a job and taking a step back and being like, okay, I don't have to trade every day. I don't need to take 20, 50 trades a day. I should probably just do 3 or 4 a week, and once I had that realization, it helped me out immensely. So like even if you're not in a position to get a job, you need to find something to occupy your time so you're not on the charts 10 hours a day. It's great to put that time in the beginning to get that experience, but you really learn once the market is moving. There's only so much time you could do back testing and looking at charts. So
No, awesome. I'm sure the viewer's going to take a lot of value from that answer because it is true. You can't put the saying is you can't put an old wise head on young shoulders, an old head on young shoulders. So that's a pretty good answer.
right.
So where do you see yourself in a year's time? You're trading, you've had a couple of withdrawals, you're obviously getting yourself out of this drawdown period. Where do you see yourself in your trading career in a year's time?
Uh, Definitely with multiple funded accounts. Um, and I'm not gonna press it, man. I'm taking it one day at a time, just trying to be successful. I'm not gonna set a number to it like I need 500,000 or anything crazy like that. Just getting better at the game, getting better at my risk management and being able to, you know, withstand drawdown periods and things of that nature.
Awesome. Yeah, I really like where your head's at. You can tell your mentality is properly built up and you are just take it one step at a time. I think sometimes we put too many obstacles in front of us, too many figures, too many numbers, too many targets, and sometimes we take less steps forward by doing that. So yeah, really good answers to all the questions that I've asked. I really do appreciate it, Kasani. We're just going to
Yeah,
move
no
on to
problem.
some quick fire questions round before hopping on Trader View to have maybe a look at one or two of your trades, if that's all right.
Yeah. All right, let's do
Awesome.
it.
Let's do it. What is your favorite trading pair?
I trade NAS 100,
Nice. And most huge risk per trade?
1%,
MT4 or MT5?
MT4,
What is your favorite trading session?
New York,
Time frame you use for entries?
1 minute.
Do you have a favorite day of the week to trade?
Oh, I would say Thursday.
Nice. And what's your ideal risk to reward?
3 to 1.
Do you use any indicators on the chart or are you a blank chart trader?
Nah, my chart is naked.
Nice. Most trades you would take in a day.
3.
And do you trade news or do you avoid news?
I stay away from the news.
Reinvest profits or spend them?
Uh, Currently, I'm gonna have to spend it. I'm sorry. I would love to say reinvest, but I'm going on a vacation.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. That sounds good. And final question: one piece of advice that you could give to new traders who could be struggling or still not quite where they want to be with their trading.
I would say stick with it. You know, Things get rough. Like I said, I've been doing it for about 10 years in and out, and for a long time, I was in that 99%. But once I sat down and started taking it serious and set my mind to it, really, because a lot of people told me it was impossible, especially around the COVID time. So once I set my mind to it, um, I'm seeing the success. So you just got to stay positive, keep working, and focus on your risk management.
Nice. Credit to yourself. 10 years in the game, still going strong. That. Be proud of yourself. That's been good going. It's the longest, most experienced trader I've spoken to recently on this channel. So yeah, credit to yourself. Thanks a lot for answering them questions. Going to take a quick pause. We'll jump onto Trade View and have a look at one or two recent trades. Thanks a lot, Kasani.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, traders, we are back with Kasani. He's been kind enough to jump on TradingView and let us have a little insight onto his trading and NAS 100. So all yours, Kasani.
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about the trades I took last week. Was on Friday, and basically I like to do top-down analysis. Really start with the weekly, um, and then come down to the daily and really set my bias. I usually set my bias early in the week and then, look for those moves in the daily. So off the weekly, if I go back to the weekly, we filled in this fair value gap here, and I've been looking for price to continue its bullish trend.
Yeah, nice. Very bullish in the last few weeks, hasn't it? To be fair, I wonder
Yeah,
when it's going to run out of steam. It's a nice start on the weekly chart, and you can come down onto the daily.
yeah,
Awesome.
and like when it comes to things like that, like turnarounds, or I usually need price to break certain barriers before I consider changing my bias. But back to Friday, let me see if I can replay it. I got the free run. I don't know. Yeah, so it started like that, but I was expecting price to move up. We kind of already filled in this imbalance down here.
Nice.
If we drop down in time, oh yeah, I got the free version. I forgot.
Yeah, no
Can't be doing
worries, man.
all
I'm
that.
saying it's all sound.
Um, yeah, but basically, I wasn't expecting price to come all the way down here.
Yeah,
Once it made its move higher, I was going to look for entries on the lower time frame.
yeah. We reacted right at the point you were looking at as well, which is cool.
Make sure I'm on the right day. Yeah. And the entry that I took, I'm gonna see if I can get down to the 5 minute. And basically,
What are those lines on the chart? Are they session dividers? Are they like day dividers? Are they or session
yes,
dividers?
yes.
Nice.
And it's great to help you, because time is just as important as price action. You really want to trade during the right times of day when there's the most liquidity and the moves are being made by the big institutions.
Nice. So what times would you usually trade? What's the like trading windows that you give yourself usually?
So typically I trade from 10 a.m. to about 11:30,
Nice.
and then afternoon session, I like to jump in around 2, and then I like to be out by 3:30. Sometimes I'll hold it a little bit longer. Sometimes I'll hold it a day, very rarely, but I'm usually just in and out during those sessions.
Yeah, nice. Like an intraday sort of trader. You can sleep at night comfortably knowing that you're not in any trades overnight, which is a big thing as well.
So this was the trade I took right here. Now I typically enter on the 1 minute, but I was watching it on the 5, and because price has been so bullish, I wasn't expecting it to come all the way down here. I was looking for it to fill at least the 50% of this candle, and then I'm gonna jump in on trade. Like I said, my account has been in drawdown, so I've lowered my leverage considerably. So that gives me a little bit more leeway in my risk. Um, Typically, um, I have more precise entries. Because if you go into 1 minute, there's a little bit more space there for it to draw down, possibly. But like I said, I like this entry and I like this setup. And I was looking for it to take out the high
Yeah,
here.
just missed it. Yeah, just missed it, didn't it? Very
Right,
close.
right. But I ended up getting out around here because I had to go to work.
Yeah, no, good. You made the most of that as well because Price it looked like
Right.
Price coming back all the way nearly to the entry as well, didn't it? If you would have not
Mhm.
if you would have held it, so that's really good. So in a position like this, where would you usually have your stop loss on a trade like this?
So I would typically have my stop loss at the bottom of this candle.
Awesome.
So so like I said, for my more precise entries, on fair value gaps, I like it to fill in most of the gap so I can get the best risk to reward. Um, but for this trade, I wasn't anticipating it doing that, and it didn't. Um, and I was targeting this high. Unfortunately, we wasn't able to get there. Um, but yeah, it was still a successful trade, and
Yeah,
that's the last
solid.
one I took.
Yeah, solid trade analysis. So you're starting off on the weekly, maybe daily time frame, getting your bias for the week. You've obviously dropped down time frames to the smaller time frames, looking for the fair value gaps to be to like be present, going alongside with your daily bias. So yeah, awesome
Hmm.
trade. Got some ICT concepts in there too. So yeah, pretty awesome. Nice targets. Risk management's in place. You're managing your leverage at the moment because you're in drawdown. So no, awesome. Thanks a lot for going over one of your recent trades. We do appreciate it. So
Yeah, no problem.
Kasani, yeah, how can traders get in touch with you after seeing this interview? Can they get you on socials or in Discord, or what's your Discord at, so people can ask you some questions and any questions that I've missed today?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm on Discord, but I don't even know my username. Uh,
Let me know.
but
Let me know after the interview, and I'll put it in the comments on the video, and
okay,
we'll
yeah,
get them to get you some questions to you. Really
yeah, and
appreciate
I'm
you
on
taking it
Instagram
today.
too. Yeah, just hit me up on Instagram, KXNGJOE, King Joe, but King with
Awesome.
a.
Awesome. Yeah, that's perfect. I'm sure there's always some questions that I leave behind and people get on me for not asking them. So I'm sure they'll be happy for that, happy with that. Yeah, thanks a lot for joining me today, Kasani. I really do appreciate you taking time out of your day. I really hope you get your account back into the heights that you have been doing, get some more draws under your belt, and hopefully we can have another interview like this one day soon.
Oh yeah, hopefully I'm back on here. We're talking six-figure withdrawals.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, thanks a lot for joining me, Kasani. I do appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
No problem. Take it easy.